Why MrBeast is getting canceled. MrBeast is getting canceled again.
And if you don't know, MrBeast is in some hot water because he built 100.
He built 100 wells in Africa. That's why people are angry. Seriously.
Wells in Africa. But I have a bigger theory. He's not actually in hot water. And the bigger problem we have to talk about today is dog shit journalism. But first, let's get through the context. If you didn't see MrBeast's latest upload, he said it took him 8 months of preparation to make and a whole lot of money, but he did what the title says.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video.
Okay.
Oh, water!
There it is.
And then he did it. I mean, I didn't go look at the wells myself personally, but I'm pretty sure
I would
he's not
assume that he probably did it.
lying. That'd be pretty bad to lie about. He made 100 wells.
Yeah.
Families will come together.
And people were happy because then they had access to clean water. Good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I
That's
feel
nice.
like, you know, yeah, we could all pretty much agree. Good that there are wells where there were not wells before. Technically, I think they're not called wells anymore. They're like boring holes. I don't know. I'm not a zoologist, but there it is. And MrBeast himself, right before this video came out, said, "I already know."
Yeah, he preempted this, bro. Like, it's like he precasted his like defensive spell against this. Like after the blindness video, he was ready.
I'm going to get canceled because I uploaded a video helping people, and to be 100% clear, I don't care. I'm always going to use my channel to help people and try to inspire my audience to do the same. And then smiling face with open mouth and also cold sweat emoji attached to it. And then, just like he predicted, MrBeast got canceled.
There it is.
Yahoo News reports, while American YouTuber MrBeast's goal was to provide clean drinking water for 500,000 people, activists say his actions shame the Kenyan government and help perpetuate the stereotype that, quote, Africa's dependent on handouts.
I'm sorry, but like in my opinion, I think that if you can get outmaneuvered by a YouTuber from another country, you deserve to be shamed. I bet the people that work at the government there are morons. Because if they weren't morons, those people would have had the wells and this would have never happened in the first place. Well, they definitely deserve to be shamed. It's run by a bunch of fucking clowns. How do you know that? It's because they don't have any water. Of course they're clowns.
Whoa, pretty scathing article here from Yahoo News, and it got picked up by a couple of people. This is ridiculous. The real thing that makes these activists mad is that MrBeast solved the problem for little money and little time, showing that everything's corrupt. And Colin said, report, very journalistically, activists are upset at YouTuber MrBeast for building 100 wells across Africa. And then said, with a direct quote here, they're actually mad because MrBeast was a white male solving the problem. Quote, I've been doing this for 15 years, but we've been struggling to continue the work because of fundraising, awareness, advocacy. That all takes work, says the founder of Face Africa. And then overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure, and then he's quoting that person.
And then they solve the problem. Yeah, of course, right? But like for them, again, it has nothing to do with, and this is one thing you have to keep in mind, is that there are a lot of people on the internet that are actually racist. I know. It's not like, oh, I'm going to say the bad word, ha-ha. Whoa, remember this Dave Chappelle joke, ha-ha. No, they're actually racist. I don't know why this is such a shock to everybody. What is this?
And then MrBeast, and then quoted the MrBeast getting canceled. So maybe it's true. All right, maybe it's not dog shit journalism. Maybe MrBeast is getting canceled because he's a white man who came in and solved this issue of no access.
I think that is 100% why some people don't like it. Absolutely. I don't think these people are a majority. I don't even think they're a minority. I think this is like a this is like a percentage of 1%. Like half of 1% of people think this. This is an extremely small amount of people that are actually of this mindset, but they are very loud. And whenever one of them does something, everybody hears about it because of how fucking ridiculous it is.
To water for 500,000 people, which I think we could all shake firm hands about and say, that's dumb. I think it's okay. I think if he's able to use his money and his resources to help people, I don't give a shit if he is white or if he is 6'3", or if he does occasionally show pictures of himself shirtless looking quite ripped, but holding his balls somewhat hard. I have no problem with that because the good he is doing is more important.
What is this? Like, who gives a fuck about this? Oh, my God.
But that's not what actually happened.
Yeah.
Almost none of this happened. If we actually take a look at the Yahoo article, a lot of the first people quoted in this are just supporting MrBeast. In fact, this person right here,
it's actually really impressive to me how people quote articles. Do you remember that one thing about how somebody was getting banned on like Twitter? And then I looked at the article and then the article said it wasn't happening. It's actually really scary, isn't it? That you have this many people that are like reading this stuff and saying these things. And it's just not even fucking true. People who embezzled relief funds who are getting mad at MrBeast. Well, here's the truth, right? Is that you have a lot of these people and they're just writing articles to make people mad. Like, I was so happy whenever I saw that Elon Musk was getting rid of people getting money for making misleading posts. Like, I'm so sick of this fucking meta where spreading misinformation makes a lot of money because everybody talks about the post that's misinformation. It is actually such a bad meta. There needs to be a new patch. And it's scary how many people just buy into it without even thinking at all.
Is a prominent activist and said every 5 years we get elected members of parliament and senators in Kenya a car that's worth $33,000, but we don't have money to drill boreholes for our people. So that just more so seems to be...
Look, guys, every 5 years they give a newly elected member of parliament a car. Like, this is a $33,000 car. Like, this is nothing. Like, this is not a problem. This is not the reason why they're not making the holes. For every 5 years.
And then here's the quote from the activist who called out MrBeast.
Okay.
But let's actually look at the quote. Overnight, this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all this attention. It's a little frustrating, but it's also understanding the nature of how the world is.
Well, I think that's not really fair. I think this is just, obviously, this is soft racism. And so what she's implying here is that how the world is the world is racist, and the reason why he's getting this attention is because he's white. Well, I think that if somebody else went and built the wells, like, for example, Akon, right? You guys know the rapper Akon. He was massively helpful with, like, he used a lot of his money to help people in Africa. A lot of people know about this. It's insane. Yeah, it's just simply soft racism. It's an implication.
And then she praised MrBeast for shining the spotlight on the need for clean water supply, but warned the issue's sustainability. Because what happens is a lot of people come along, they'll build a well, they'll make a borehole, but then it won't be functional in 3 to 5 years, and then they have to go back to unsafe creek water or river water or whatever.
So, like, her criticism is that he hasn't solved this problem for the rest of time, and this is why he's wrong? I mean, how can he possibly commit to doing this for the rest of his life? I mean, what an insane thing to say. Why can't they deal with it themselves? He's helping them. They need, at a certain point, that's their village. They've got to figure out something. Ask the government to do it. He's doing a lot already.
So yes, that's fair. That's a good concern to throw out there. And if in 5 years all 100 MrBeast boreholes are no longer working and all those people have to go back to creeks, we could talk about it at that point. But I wouldn't really call this a scathing activist lambasting MrBeast.
I think that this is negative. It's absolutely negative. It has soft racism in it, and the person who wrote it should be ashamed of themselves. They are absolutely criticizing him, and they are absolutely implying that he is the beneficiary of something that is... They are downplaying his actions, implying that he is the beneficiary of something that is bad, and then saying that he's actually not helping their problems because of some far off in the future problem that might happen. It's 100% they're saying that. It's not even a question. I'm amazed, like, anybody, like, yeah, no, this person's an asshole.
The thing that I think would perturb people is the white male figure part of it. Why is race being thrown into it? And that's a whole nother issue with, I think, a lot of people maybe in Kenya being proud and different things going on there. But
I'm sure that the people in the village, I'm sure that they really appreciate you sticking up for them. Yeah, I'm sure they care about that a lot.
As a whole, I don't really find to be an attempt at canceling MrBeast. I think it's someone who's just asked their thoughts.
It's definitely an attempt at downplaying what he's doing, and it definitely is, like, I think this person doesn't like MrBeast. You don't talk like this about somebody if you're trying to help them. Yeah, no, they're trying to shit on him for sure. For fucking sure. You don't talk about this like, so you don't talk about like, fuck. You don't talk about somebody like this if you don't mean to make them look bad.
Is also helping tackle similar issues, right? But then if we look at back at this quote, Colin also says, others were upset that MrBeast highlighted the failures of the Kenyan government that maintain.
Yeah, the Kenyan government looks like it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Damn. Wow. Yeah, that place sucks.
The stereotype that Africa's dependent on handouts and philanthropic intervention. Others. All right, well, let's take a look at who these others are. It turns out they are one other, a Kenyan politician named Francis.
It's not even a Kenyan politician. It's an aspiring Kenyan politician.
Gaito, who criticized MrBeast, saying that, like he said here, Africa's dependent on handouts and philanthropic intervention. That's one dude. It's literally one person. He's right here. This is the video he made.
Okay,
and let me tell you,
he
got clowned on. The video's got 1.1 million views, 1.1 K likes, 1,000 quote retweets. People were not happy with the video that he made here. He's also just an aspiring politician, which is just different phrasing for a dude.
Yeah. I'm an aspiring wizard. Does that make me a wizard?
Aspiring politician's not a job. It's the hope for a job. I'm an aspiring YouTuber with 10 million subscribers. I'm not that.
Yeah.
What's the point? What is the purpose of this? This all started because of the sentence activists, which isn't even accurate, by the way.
Yeah.
The activists did not say that this helped perpetuate the stereotype that Africa is dependent on handouts. That's what the aspiring politician said. The activist, singular, said a whole different sentence. This is just a misquote. It's a malattributed quote. I don't know why the fuck Yahoo News did that, but
because we're talking about them. And all news organizations are capitalist endeavors that exist to spread misinformation at the basically at the risk of hurting everybody in the public with literally no care whatsoever of the damage they do. They exist purely to make more money, and the more people look at their articles, the more people that give them money. And that's the real reason. Most news, I think, are parasites. I think that they are the enemy of the people. They actively spread misinformation. They mislead people constantly. And again, alternative media isn't that much better, but at least alternative media says whenever they're trying to put a bias in. You watch Alex Jones, he's fucking biased. You watch Hassan, he's biased. You watch me, I'm biased with a lot of things. You watch, I don't know, the Young Turks, they're biased. You watch Ben Shapiro, he's biased. And that's okay, that's fine, because it's out in the open. The problem is people like Yahoo News who act like they are a unbiased source. Oh, we're just reporting the news, man. No, you're not. You're farming impressions based off of something that will make people mad. The goal of this company is not to inform people. Fundamentally, it is not to inform people. And in fact, it is beneficial more so whenever they don't inform people because it makes them more money. And this is nothing special with Yahoo News. Almost all mainstream media is like this.
Because Yahoo News did that, then Colin showed up and did the same fucking thing. Colin showed up and he started quoting activists and others.
And this is what happens is like once one article comes out that's a lie, then everybody else who's also a bad journalist, or not journalist, sorry, activist, they come out and they build a foundation of their lie based off of the initial lie. And then it gets repeated enough times that everybody just believes that it's real. The person who invented that, a Nazi.
That's not right. It was one person, one activist. It was one politician that was quoted, and then all of a sudden there's like this huge group of people who are like, MrBeast getting fucking canceled. This makes no damn sense. I bet it's the liberals.
Yep.
I bet it's the liberals unhappy that a white man's successful. It's not it.
Yeah, but that article and that headline is offensive to a lot of people, and it makes people mad. So they write that as the headline because that gets people to look at the page. What, Nazis inventing the lies? Nazis, like, so Joseph Goebbels, he was like basically like the propaganda minister for the Nazi Germany. And he had like an idea of like the big lie, where it's like something is just told that's blatantly false. And then once enough people repeat it, it becomes true in the mind of the people. Now, there's a little bit more nuance to this, but that's effectively what it means. Now, obviously, this is not something that is completely done by him, but I would just like to draw attention to the fact that this messaging and the way this happens, the foundation for how this is built on, one of the places that used it a lot was Nazi Germany. So I think it's worth taking into account, even though obviously they don't have a monopoly on lying.
What's going on? Even a little bit, tiny bit at all. They're not following the SPJ Code of Ethics, by the way, if you're a journalism student. Or an aspiring journalist, this is what you should be following.
Well, they're not.
4 pillars. I'm going to teach you it. You should remember this shit. And you ever see a journalist who's acting up, you tell them, hey, where are your pillars? Because they'll fuck.
Well, they're not going to have any because it doesn't matter. There's no accountability. That's the problem. And I'm okay with Yahoo. Like, by the way, I think that Yahoo is completely within their right to publish an article that's misleading like that. It's not that they are... that it should be like illegal for them to publish this. Like, they should be able to do this, and this is their freedom of speech, of course, for sure. But like, it's not journalism, it's not authentic, it's not fair, and it's not accurate. It's not illegal, but it's unethical. Yeah, exactly.
No, that
So not
Yahoo
defamatory?
journalist should know.
Probably
Seek
not,
truth and report it. That's the fundamental. That's the basis of everything we report on. Act independently, right? We're not supposed to just retweet what other people are doing. You're trying to do your own fucking thing here. Minimize harm. Oh, that's a key one. Make sure that everyone is treated as a human deserving of respect. And then be accountable and transparent. All right, how'd you find your news? If you fuck up, maybe own up that you fucked up. Yahoo News and the journalist there. I don't think you follow the 4 pillars very well.
Well, it doesn't matter if they own up to the mistake because they're not giving back the money they made from the ad revenue. Like, you already have people talking about you. Like, it's done, right? It's already happened. Worked as a TV news anchor for 5 years. Say a lot about this. Local news acts like 24/7 news station. More about being first than being right. Yeah, it sounds a lot like YouTube. It's the same thing with YouTube. You know, you're right. I mean, this is just... And also, like, you see these articles that get posted, and this is the problem, right? Is that, like, a lot of these news places, the way that they garner a lot of attention is like through these, I guess you'd say like these editorials where it's like opinion stuff. So they'll have some crazy person who goes and they put out some article that's just like total fucking bullshit. It's like why, I don't know, like why you shouldn't have a dog. Right? And like everybody reads this article and gets mad at them. And this person doesn't even really work for the company. So they're like kind of a contractor. So basically the company gets to make money off of the fact that, oh yeah, of course this is, like these are all these people coming and watching the ad. And if the person gets too much heat, then they just get rid of them. I'll be right back. It's been a problem for a long time. Yeah, contributor articles. Yes, contributing editors, contributing writers. They basically use these people as, like, target dummies.
Anyway, that's it. That's the
That's
MrBeast drama.
Yep.
The only criticism I saw of MrBeast that had any sort of support was this quote retweet that said, I think MrBeast would be an incredible channel if he talked a bit more about why he has to do this while doing it.
Why? Why? So you can say that MrBeast is criticizing the government of another country and he's going there to farm them? No, that's also going to create another set of problems. People like this, these are always people with 2 cents. It's always somebody that's got their 2 cents to put in. And the reality is that it's worth even less than that. All they're doing is they're trying to find something just a little bit that they can make you seem like, oh, well, you're not that good. Oh, well, you could have done this. That's all they're doing.
Basically saying, hey, what are the systemic fundamental problems with maybe this group of people versus this group of people, and then fix the thing, and then say, hey, here's how you as an individual now informed with knowledge could hopefully help this or prevent this from happening in the future.
Yeah.
Which, is a fair criticism. Maybe you can argue, hey, it's a bit annoying.
No, it's not. I don't agree with that, because if MrBeast had gone over there and then he had started complaining about the government being bad, I think it would have been disrespectful in a way, and it would have kind of made the government look bad in a way that seemed, opportunistic. So, yeah, I think that if he had done that, it probably would have come off worse. Like, what could he possibly have said? Like, oh, the government's corrupt here, so I'm helping them? How's that going to make... So, like, whenever this, you think about it from this perspective too, right? Like, these people have to have an existing relationship with the government, right? Like, these villages have an existing relationship with the Kenyan government to an extent. So, now that MrBeast has come in and created animosity in that relationship, they're the ones that have to live with that outcome. Now MrBeast effectively starts an adversarial relationship between the two of them, and then they're the ones that have to live with it. So I understand why people are saying this, but the people that are saying it have no foresight, because, again, it has nothing to do with reality. They're not thinking it out. They're not being, it starts a proxy war. Yeah, he starts a proxy war. It's bad. It has nothing to do with what happened. They're just looking for a way to make him look bad. So everything is reverse engineered from that point of view. It's not arrived upon based off of logical thinking. You see what I'm saying? It's like basically these people start at the finish line and then they work to the beginning of the race whenever you're supposed to start the race and then get to the finish line. That's what people do. And that's the problem. Now, that's very unlikely. We don't have that patriotism here. You might not have the patriotism, but I bet the government that isn't doing anything and the people at the government that are being criticized, the individuals that take it personally that MrBeast did this and made them look bad, might do something that could negatively affect that village because they were unhappy with the way that they were portrayed in the video. I think that's very easy to say, especially whenever the government's corrupt to begin with. Like it's a bunch of corrupt assholes. Again, like nobody ever thinks more than one step ahead. Like, nobody ever thinks about what the outcome of an action is. They just think about what I want to do this. Oh, let's do this. Well, that's what happens.
To sit from the high tower and be like, do this now too, after he just added 100 fucking wells. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's already pretty good. But that doesn't really feel like getting canceled to me. So it's all a bunch of hoopla. He didn't get fucking canceled. Most people don't give a shit. And most people who do give a shit are just mad at people canceling him, which doesn't exist. It's one aspiring Kenyan politician and one activist who was misquoted. There we go. There it is. All right, let's do better fucking journalism next year, baby. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll make more videos if I feel good about them, and have a nice rest of your day.
The only time this will stop happening is when the companies stop making money because of it. The companies are doing it because of money. It's kind of like store mounts. Everybody hates store mounts, but they never go away. Everybody hates microtransactions, but they never go away because they make money.
Hey, subscribe. All right, goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. I'm a journalism major. That's why I always follow the SPJ code of ethics. I even have
big
an
mistake.
accountability thing that you can click below where it shows all my errors. And there are a lot, so maybe I'm not a good journalist. All right, goodbye.
Yeah. No, you can't win them all. Fact check sheet. Oh, yeah, there it is. Let's find a way to say state regulation is the only way to change things. I think that there's a lot of ways. I mean, state regulation isn't necessarily that. I'll give you an example. This is kind of like a weird example, but I think it very much illustrates my point. Back in the 90s, this is a very, very trashy thing that people used to do, as they used to have countdown timers for whenever female celebrities would turn 18 years old. This is a trashy thing that like Howard Stern did and a number of other people did as well. Yeah, this is a big thing. And nowadays, people just collectively don't like that anymore. People just don't accept that anymore. Society, culture's changed, and it's not acceptable in the culture. Now, are there people that are like this? Yeah, sure, right? But at the same time, there are even more people who are not like it. It still happens. Of course, everything still happens, but it's like the degree that it happened and the social acceptance of it has shifted massively. So I do think that things can change culturally. They absolutely can, but they take a long time for it to happen.